The atmosphere inside Logan International Airport throbbed with the usual cocktail of fatigue, urgency, and barely concealed irritation. Gate C-27, nestled between a Hudson News and a bustling Pret a Manger, buzzed with announcements, dragging luggage wheels, and the murmurs of travelers eager to get home or away. The flight to Washington, D.C. was fully booked, and tensions unseen and unspoken hung in the air like low static. Among the travelers was Senator Sierra Monroe, dressed in a slate blue pantsuit, her hair pulled into a tight, dignified twist at the nape of her neck. She looked like any other professional woman on a tight schedule, except she wasn't. At just 34, she was one of the youngest sitting members of the United States Senate, a former civil rights attorney turned lawmaker who had spent the past few days in Boston rallying for educational equity and meeting with local nonprofits. She arrived early, as always. Experience had taught her that airports weren't places to gamble on timing. After clearing TSA with a respectful nod from one of the agents who vaguely recognized her, she made her way to the gate. The flight was still an hour out. She purchased a lukewarm espresso and sat down near the window, pulling out her laptop to review notes for an upcoming committee hearing. She wasn't expecting anything unusual. She certainly wasn't looking for confrontation. But confrontation, as it turned out, had a way of finding people like her. 20 minutes before boarding, a commotion at the gate caught her attention. A young black woman, early 20s, maybe stood stiffly in front of the gate agent's desk, her brow furrowed, her voice controlled but rising. "I'm just asking you to look again," she said. "I have a confirmation right here." The gate agent, a man named Kyle according to his name tag, crossed his arms. "Ma'am, I already told you. You're not on the manifest. I paid for this ticket months ago. You can take it up with customer service. But my flight is now." Kyle rolled his eyes and turned to his colleague, a woman named Janine, who avoided eye contact with the young woman entirely. "If this keeps up," Kyle muttered loud enough to be heard, "I'm calling security." Sierra's eyes narrowed. She stood up quietly and approached the desk, her expression neutral but her tone firm. "Excuse me," she said. "I couldn't help but overhear. Is there an issue here?" Kyle turned to her with a rehearsed smile that didn't touch his eyes. "Ma'am, this passenger is being disruptive. We've asked her to step aside." "I wasn't being disruptive," the young woman snapped. "I just asked." "What's your name?" Sierra asked gently. "Alana Brooks." "Miss Brooks, may I see your boarding pass?" Alana handed over a crumpled printout. Sierra scanned it. The flight number and seat assignment were clearly printed. 14C. "This seems legitimate." "She was removed from the system this morning," Janine said flatly. "Why? We don't know. It's probably an error in the system." "Then why not just fix it?" Kyle's jaw tensed. "Because she raised her voice and refused to calm down." "She's not raising her voice now," Sierra said, folding the paper neatly. "She's asking a fair question." "Ma'am," Kyle said, the smile gone now, "unless you're with the airline." Sierra reached in her wallet and pulled out her Senate ID. "I'm Senator Sierra Monroe. I believe that gives me a certain level of oversight when it comes to public accommodations. Don't you?" Kyle's face lost all color. Passengers nearby, sensing something unusual, had started to record. Phones were subtly lifted, angled to capture the scene. "We'll look into it," Janine said quickly. "No need," Sierra replied. "Just issue her a new boarding pass. Or would you prefer this to escalate?" There was a beat of silence. Then Kyle typed reluctantly at his computer, avoiding Sierra's gaze. After several keystrokes and a thinly veiled sigh, he printed a new pass and handed it to Alana. "Seat 14C. Happy?" "No," Sierra said calmly. "But we're moving in the right direction." Alana took the pass, her hands trembling slightly. "Thank you," she whispered. "Sierra smiled gently. You shouldn't need a senator to get the seat you paid for." As boarding began, Sierra took her usual aisle seat in business class, 3D. She had paid for it out of her personal funds to avoid any scrutiny over travel expenses. Alana passed by her quietly as she made her way to the back. Their eyes met for a second, one filled with gratitude, the other with resolve. The flight was uneventful until it wasn't. Midway through the journey, turbulence caused the captain to pause beverage service. As attendants resumed their duties, a man in 14B, seated beside Alana, grew audibly frustrated. I don't see why she got a free upgrade. I've been loyal to this airline for 10 years. What's she done? Cry to the right person. A flight attendant approached. Sir, is there a problem? Yeah, I want to know what makes her so special. Alana stared straight ahead, lips pursed. I assure you, sir, no one here received special treatment, the attendant said. Oh, really? So you just give random folks upgrades now? She's not in business class, the attendant said. She's in economy. The man grunted. Still smells like favoritism. Sierra, having overheard enough, pressed her call button. The attendant arrived. Yes, Senator Monroe. Please keep an eye on the passenger in 14B. His comments are approaching harassment. Yes, Senator. The man paled slightly when the attendant leaned down and whispered in his ear. He sat back in silence for the remainder of the flight. Upon landing, Sierra and Alana disembarked together. Just beyond the gate, 2 airport security officers stood waiting. Kyle had apparently radioed ahead. The taller of the two stepped forward. Senator Monroe? Yes. We received a report about a disruptive passenger and someone interfering with gate operations. Ah, Sierra said. That would be me. And that report is inaccurate. I intervened to correct an administrative error that was being mishandled. There was no disruption. The officer blinked. Understood. Thank you for clarifying. Alana, wide-eyed, gripped her bag tightly. Sierra turned to her. You okay? Alana nodded. I think so. Good. Let's get out of here. They walked together in silence toward the terminal exit. Outside, cameras were already waiting. Someone had uploaded the gate incident. The video was going viral. News outlets were picking it up with captions like Senator steps in to stop airline discrimination. Later that evening, Sierra sat in her D.C. apartment, her phone buzzing nonstop. Her communications director, David, called her. You got to say something. The internet's exploding. Draft a statement, she said, staring out her window. We're not letting this slide. The next day, she held a press conference on Capitol Hill. Cameras flashed. Microphones clustered. I did what anyone should have done, she said. I stood up because I saw something unjust. But here's the problem. It took a senator's intervention to fix what should never have gone wrong. The statement reverberated through the country. Over the following weeks, Sierra introduced a bill, the Passenger Fairness and Accountability Act. It proposed standardized procedures for resolving disputes at airline gates, mandatory bias training for staff, and federal oversight of discrimination complaints in air travel. Critics accused her of grandstanding. Supporters called her a hero. Alana, now back in Boston, was inundated with messages some kind, others cruel. She declined interviews but sent Sierra a handwritten letter. You reminded me I matter.